He created life in numbers that even the scientists don't know that exist.
We've read about him in the history. He was in jail under an alias. When they went to the jail, the king called him Mr. Yakub, and in words said, look, we know that you are the one that has to do this work. What do you want? He said, you give me my people and allow me to leave and take my people with me. So then agreement was made, and he took his followers. There were 59,999 of them with Yakub, making 60,000. And they were banished to an island in the Aegean Sea called Pelon, but in the Bible it is called Patmos. And there on the island of Patmos, Yakub began to make a devil. How do you make devil? What are the steps that you make? You start by grafting, by separating the germs. You start by setting up a law of birth control. Yakub had helpers to help him produce his new people. He had a doctor, a nurse, a minister, and a cremator. I'm coming back to you in a minute. This may sound far-fetched, but boy, when you see it. The object was to kill the black and save the lighter child. Then marry the lighter on to a lighter. And keep on grafting until you produce a brown civilization of people. Birth control. Kill the black, save the brown. Marry the brown on to a lighter brown, kill the darker, save the lighter. Marry the lighter on to the lighter, kill the darker, save the lighter until you bring it to its apex, which is this that you see, this Caucasian. Caucasian means weak-blooded, weak-boned, stale-faced. That pale, what the Indian call a pale man. So, brother, I am not playing. This is serious. The white man is not the real man. That's right. He's a made human being from you. When they want to go in the laboratory to develop medicine for their disease, they don't practice on gray mice. What do they practice on? Come on. What color mice? White mice. Is the white mouse a natural mouse? Uh-oh, where did the white mouse come from? From the gray mouse. So Whitey uses something that already is a hybrid to demonstrate what happens on this. Maybe if it can affect that white mouse, it can also affect me. Do you hear me? Now he's here. On the way, it took 600 years to take him from black all the way to white. First, there was a brown civilization. And you got them out there now. They're called Japanese. They come right up out of that grafting. The next civilization, next 200 years, you had a yellow man. And those yellow and brown, they don't get along. China and Japan may look the same to you, but they know they're different. And they clash with each other. And out of the Chinese came the Caucasian, or the yellow man came the Caucasian. These are new people. You can't take the brown man or Japanese back beyond 6,000 years. You can't take the white man beyond 6,000 years. You can't take the yellow man beyond 6,000. All their history is 6 3,000 years old. It's the original people that have no birth record. None whatsoever. Now, look, making people of color, that's not sin, that's wisdom. Like making different color flowers or different color or kinds of fruit or different kinds of animal life. That's a test of your wisdom. Making different kinds of human beings is a test of the wisdom of God. God said, let it be, bring them forward. Yaqub then had to teach them a teaching that would oppose the teachings of God. They already are opposite us in color and opposite us in nature. Why do you say that? If murder was going on the island of Patmos to produce them, and lying was going on to fool the baby away from the mother, kill the darker, save the lighter, then Jesus says in the New Testament, I know you, talking to the Jews, you are of your father the devil. He was a liar and a murderer. And if you look at that white man, he's a lying thing and a murderous human being. There is no human being on earth that has murdered more living things than the Caucasian. He's a murderer and a liar. Take it or leave it, brother. I'm not saying that we don't lie, but the white man lies almost for no reason at all. Come on. A liar and a murderer. Now he was taught by Yaqub how to master us with a system of tricks and lies. And that boy is the same today as he was. He's full of tricks. Come on. Got you doing it. He's a tricky dude. He can't help himself. A liar, a murderer, a deceiver. Now, when he was made, he was allowed to come back among the holy people. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has taught us that in 6 months he turned the Holy Land upside down. And we rounded up all of them that we could find and drove them out into the hills and caves of Europe. This is where you get in your Masonic order the cable toe. We took everything from the white man but the language. Stripped them naked, so when you join the lodge, you get a little apron. And they tie you together, and we beat him every step of the way. So when you join the lodge, they call it crossing the burning sands, and they whoop your backside like our fathers whipped them, driving them out. That's written in the Bible and in the Quran. Get out of it, despised and driven away. Caucasians. And brother, they've been angry with us ever since. They went into Europe and went savage. EU means hillsides and caves. And ROPE is the rope to bind in. We sent him up there and bound him in so he couldn't get out of Europe. And the man went savage, tried to graft himself back and got as far as the ape. Not that he came from the ape came from him. That's his brother. And you hear him say, well, I'll be a monkey's uncle. He know what he's talking about. Oh, brother. He lived in the caves of Europe for 2,000 years, walking on his all fours. Let me tell you something. You notice how the white man take off his shirt? You see all this hair look like a blanket covering him? Come on now. Some of you sisters, you like to look at that naked beast. See him out there parading on the beach. Chest, you don't find chest, just hair. All down his arms, everywhere. You say, well, how come I don't have that? You look at your chest, you can hardly find a hair. You look at the white man, he's hair down. Where did this come from? Came from his days in the cave. Have you ever put on a cast on your arm and let it stay there for 3 months? When you take it off, what do you see under there? Come on. What do you see? A lot of it, right? Not on the arm that didn't have the cast, but on the arm that got the cast. Why? Because wherever it is dark and damp, where you get no sunlight, you will grow an inordinate amount of hair. Here's a white man living in the cave. It's there in the 18th chapter of the Quran called the cave. And at the mouth of the cave is a dog. Say if there are 2 of them, the third was the dog. If there was 3 of them, the fourth was the dog. If there was 5 of them, 6 was the dog. And when you see the white man today, who is the white man's best friend? It ain't you, it ain't God, it's a dog, brother. Oh yeah. Him and the dog have a love affair. He cohabits with the dog. Moses had to tell him, look, we catch you sleeping with an animal, death. Because white folks so crazy. They lie down with the dog, lie down with the sheep, lie down with the cows, lie down with the chicken. Crazy white man is something. I don't know how in the heck we could ever let something like that rule out. I mean, brother, he got down on his all fours. Yeah, grew a little tail. Yeah, some of them right today are born with a little 6-inch tail coming right off the spine. They cut it off quick. White folks even say it's healthy to get out on your all fours and crawl around. They like that. 2,000 years, this cracker is up in the cave crawling around, him and the dogs together. That man didn't know how to cook food, didn't know how to bury his dead. Go look at that movie, Quest for Fire. That ain't you in the cave. This man didn't have no language. He's up there in the cave. And here you go. I said they make a dog out of you sooner or later. That man is something. But he was given power to rule. 2,000 years of his time he spent in the caves until Moses was sent to him to raise him up from that condition. Moses had a hard time teaching that savage. Moses had to sleep in a ring of fire to keep that savage from destroying him. Moses put a board in their back and stood them up. If you look at white people, they used to be very thick in here. No definition, just straight with a flat gluteus maximus. You know how flat they are back here? Pardon me, I'm not being vulgar. You ought to check the animal, check that monkey out, check that chimpanzee out. Shave that hair and see what you see up underneath that hair. That's white. I know you in love with them. That's because you don't have no sense. But look here. Moses had to straighten them crackers up, put a board in their back. Moses invented the girdle. Had to put them things in a girdle, so I'm giving them some form. You would never have fallen in love with that white woman if had you seen her the way Moses saw her. Big old nasty thing. Black man all down by the Nile living in luxury and silks. White folk up in the cave grunting. That's right. Moses went up there in those caves, taught those crackers, and in 22 years, he had them up, coming on out of the cave. He taught them some of the technology that their father had given to them, which would allow them to master the original people. Yes. In your Bible, it said the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and took them for wives. Remember I said we rounded up all that we could find? There were some whites over there that some of our women hid. And they grew up right in the Holy Land. They never went under the wicked teaching. They grew up white, but not yet wicked. They're right over there now. They've spent their whole existence in the Holy Land, among the holy people. And they've tried to practice righteousness. So the sons of God saw the daughters of men and began to race mix right there on the Arabian Peninsula. And as we produce lighter children, the lighter ones were put in positions of power. Remember how I said, save the lighter, kill the darker? That's in existence right now. If you're in a family and your brother is lighter than you, people seem to take to the light skin and reject the darker one. Am I lying? Come on. You all grow up hating each other in a family because the light-skinned one has favor and the dark-skinned one looks like it has no favor. The darker you are, the worse you feel about yourself. This whole world rejects you. Whitey come in, raped our women, produce babies my color. Then he make those my color think they're better than those who are darker. Come on. Setting up division now and hatred among us. Yeah. Stick a needle in the black one's brain. They don't do it with a hypodermic. They do it with the poison of education that makes you think you're inferior as a black person. And the blacker you are, the less you do. You're afraid, timid. It's the light ones that are aggressive and trying to show leadership. And the black one walking around with his head down, huh? Stand up, black man. Get up, black man and woman. You're not ugly because you're black. You're beautiful as a black woman, but nobody has taught you of your beauty. They make you think if you're light and your hair's a little curly, your nose is a little straighter, it's not quite as broad, your lips not quite as thick. Oh boy, you're real pretty. But if you come up real black with a broad nose and thick lips and hair so short you can't twist it with a tweezer. Now, Jack, that's short. think you look ugly, you start acting the way you think you look. Poor black man, hated by his own, hated by the whites, hated by all people on the earth. Now, brother, sister, I've traveled all over this earth. I haven't seen no place where black folk are respected and loved by other people. You say I'm a Muslim. I am a Muslim too. But in the Muslim world, they talk about us as though it's a great honor, you know what I mean? That God would accept something like us in Islam and give us equality with white Arabs. And some of us are so sick mentally that when we become Muslims, we have no root in ourselves. Therefore, we want to act like the Arab. Put on the headdress and grow a beard and sit around pulling on the beard saying, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. What's the matter with you? What's wrong with you? Well, I'm different now. Thank God I'm different. I was in Sudan. There's a big fight going on in Sudan between the northern Sudanese and the southern Sudanese. The southern Sudan, the people are so black till they have a blue cast, but beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Skin so smooth. Tall, stately, magnificent women and men, of course. In the north, the Arab has mixed with the so-called African and produced another color, straighter hair, different features. And the north is separated from the south, not just by religion, but the northern Sudanese feels he's an Arab. And the southern Sudanese knows he's a black man. He calls himself an African. Now they're at war with each other over Arab imperialism in the name of Islam. Everywhere the white man went, he set up his rule. I'm the boss. He's made to rule now, Jack. And everywhere he goes, he divides you and tries to remain united, crushing us. Divide and conquer. You've heard that before, right? He went in among the Chinese. He fed them opium. He did that. And took out the silver, gave them the opium. Until the opium wars came up in China. And they drove opium out under Mao Zedong. Mao cleaned up China of drugs. And he killed all drug addicts who would not clean up. Killed them all. You may say that's terrible. But there's no more drugs. That was the point. Thank you all for coming. You got enough. They won't forget that. You know, there's a story in the Bible. There's a story in the Bible, I think it's Samson, who set fire to the fox's tail. And everywhere the fox went, his tail was on fire. In the master's cornfield, he burned it down. I'm sorry, I set fire to your tail today. I don't mean that in a literal sense, but in a figurative sense. See, you're on fire now. You know something. And what you know, brother, tomorrow when you see white folks, don't tell them who they are. Look at them. Study them like they've been studying you. Get up close to them. Get up close and smell them. Smells strange. Look at them carefully. And what you're going to find, if you study them, you'll see that they think they're better than you. They act superior to you. They want to rule you. And if you look like you want to assert yourself, they'll try to come against you to crush you down. Yes, they will. Because they are born to rule. They cannot accept a subservient position under black people. Even when you got them under you on a job. They can't stand it. Who is this nigger over me? And you know how you are when you're ordering white folk. Don't you feel good? Now put it over there. And he'll do it to hold the job, but he's gritting his teeth all the time. And they'll lay for you to get you fired because they don't want a black foreman. Their nature can't take a black person being over them. This is what I told them at Cornell the other day. I said, look, y'all are sick. You cannot accept dark rule. So God is ending your world. And the only way, white folk, you can come out of this, because you cannot be reformed. You cannot reform a devil. All the prophets tried and failed. You have to kill the devil. What are you saying, Farrakhan? Why does Muhammad and any Muslim murder the devil? Because he's 100% wicked and will not keep and obey the laws of Islam. He's a snake of the grafted type. Huh? And if he's allowed to live, he'll sting someone else. It is not the color of the white man that's the problem. It's the mind of the white man that's the problem. The color can live on forever if God wanted to be so. But the mind of white supremacy has to be destroyed. And let me tell you something. That mind is present in the Arab world right now, in Mecca. It's in the Christian world right now, in Rome. It's in China. It's in Japan. It's everywhere. Nobody loves the black man. They all want to crush the black man. And this is why today I must lift up my voice all over the world, not to hide what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught, but to make the world know it and understand it, because that's the only way you're going to bust up the mind of racism. You got to tell them where their root is and where their mind came from. Yaqub was only given 6 days to do his work. 6,000 years, and after that, the white man's world is finished. Not that the white man can't survive and make it into the hereafter. He can. But he's got to die. here. Muhammad and any Muslim will murder the devil. Don't stop right there, Farrakhan. Don't you send these children out here with the thought of murder in their mind. Oh, yes, I am. It's putting to death time today. You know how mommy said when it's time to sleep, you've been raised in hell all day? Betty, bye-bye. Time to go bye-bye. Time to go to sleep. Well, it's time for the white man's mind to be put to eternal rest. See? You don't have the courage to do it, it's going to be done anyway. Had we wished to take a past time, we would have taken it from before ourselves. Nay, we cast truth at falsehood till we knock out its brain. The white man's body is in obedience to the law of birth and life and death, but his mind is a house of negative rebellion. Now, why, God, did you allow the white man to come on the earth and raise all this hell? Because you had rebelled yourself against God. Black man, black woman, you are stiff-necked, hard-hearted, and rebellious people. So God took the germ of rebellion from you and made a people totally like that and let them beat hell out of us. So that now we're ready to say, hey, Allahu Akbar. Calling loud, 4 directions. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. What you saying? Hey, I want you to hear me. I've had enough. I want to submit to the Lord of the world and get rid of the rebellion that has made the negative crush the positive in all human beings. Huh? And so, in my conclusion, man's world, I mean, he made one, brother. His world upholds whiteness, downs all dark people. Is that right? His world, his educational system, ain't nothing in it that makes a black man love himself. Come on. His religion. Now, I know you're Christians. I know. But Christ is not responsible for what has happened to you. Your condition as a Christian is pitiful. Because you are looking for a white savior. And you don't know that the white man has taken the real Jesus and buried him and given you the image of a Caucasian and said, here's your savior. Your brother and sister, trying to be a man, whooping. Look at you. Crazy as hell. White folks turned you out. Look at you. So ashamed of who and what you are. You make it blonde. Now you got blue eyes now. Green eyes, hazel eyes. Help yourself. Make them any way you want to. Turned you upside down. Now you hate yourself so much till we become our own destroyers, and the white man sit back and laugh. Say, yeah, my time is up, but I'm taking all of you down with me when I go. I know God is after me. That's what the white man's saying. He knows he's in a fight for his life. But the white man has determined to destroy all the planet. If he gotta go, he's taking everything down with him. Now you mind me what I'm saying, brother. All that's written in the Bible and Quran. If Allah don't step step in and stop him, every one of us will go down with him. He's just that smart. He's a master of evil and deceit. Did you know that in movies there are 25 frames, I think. 24 every second. And what they've done, they use up to 23 frames. And the 24th frame is supposed to be clear. But on the 24th frame, they can put messages. And it goes by just that quick. You don't see it with the conscious mind, but your subconscious picks it up. They've tested this. You sit down in the movie, and on the 24th frame they say, drink Coke. Drink Coke. Drink Coke. You sitting in the movie 1 hour and 15 minutes, and every second that message hits your mind. Boop, boop, boop. Intermission. Where you headed? You wonder why there's this big line at the Coke machine. They have programmed you to do what they want you to do. Look, these are scientists. They are experimenting with you right now, and some of you don't even know you're under an experiment. But don't you know, if they can program you long enough and hard enough, and with just the right drug here and the right suggestion there, they'll cause you to do what you never thought you would ever do. You think you got your own mind, but Whitey is bombarding your mind 24 hours out of every day. You doubt me? You know why the Jews are angry with me? Because they are the absolute master of their world. That's the boss. You notice Jews, they don't fight. They let the Italians, the Irish, the Polish do their fighting. When the Jew comes out to fight, you've gotten to the top. Did you see Raiders of the Lost Ark? Whenever you're getting ready to get to the real prize, that's when you got to go through the hardest test. That's when the big dragon comes out. Well, I'm telling you, when you bring the Jew out of hiding, that's the last barrier you got to get by. Do they control education? Yeah. Do they control the American Medical Association? Yeah. Do they control the American Dental Association? Yeah. The psychologists? Yeah. The psychiatrists? Yeah. Come on. Yeah. They do. Are they over the teachers' union? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Who runs the big publishing houses in America? Who is masterful in all forms of communication? Who is controlling the movie picture industry? Mm-hmm. Who is controlling the record industry? You want to sing? I got a song for you. You come up with your black talk. Here's a song I want you to sing. You got a beautiful voice. Sister, sing this. If loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right. I want you to take your gift from God and cause people to say wrong is right. Because when I get finished, I'm going to have you upside down. Just like the Bible says, you'll take darkness for light, light for darkness, God for devil, devil for God, up for down, down for up, heaven for hell, hell for heaven. I'll have you so confused, it will take God to straighten you out. And you just about at that point right now. Why didn't catch on? All of a sudden, Public Enemy's now got it. all down into you. Your name is gone. Your language is gone. Your mind is gone. But it done turned you upside down. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. Amen. Now the rappers done got bad with it, brother. Programmed for self-destruction. You don't want to come sit down and hear Farrakhan for 2 hours. That's a little bit too much. But turn the box on. And the brothers are getting to you with the word. And Whitey's saying, oh my God, we got to stop this. We got to stop this. It's too late now, baby. When you got it, it's over. When the youth got it, it's over. Because when you know what's happening, young man and woman, the white man's world has come to an end. You already know something is wrong with his education. You already know that something is wrong with his religion. You already know that something is wrong with his world, but you just don't know how to get out of it. You were born to go to war with his world, but you haven't heard the right voice yet. See? So the white man said, well, yeah, that Elijah Muhammad, he's teaching them who I am. Now he's pulled the cover off of me, and I'm exposed. And all these black folk know my real name now. It's not Frenchman, Italian, Englishman, it's devil. And now all these blacks are calling me devil. And they know I'm the devil. And now they don't want to have nothing to do with me anymore. I fix up my women and girls, I make them sharp. And I send my little white girls on them. Now that they know I'm the devil, they tell the girl, get on her. I want my black woman. And the white girl run away feeling bad, brother. Look here. In my conclusion, have you ever heard the story of Samson and Delilah? That's the white man's last trick, brother, is the white woman. That's his last trick. If you can turn her down, you on your way to paradise. If you can turn the white woman down, brother, you on your way to heaven.
He's making new creatures that are coming up out of the earth and out of the sea.
I think in the ocean I have come across potentially beings from another heavenly body that are more highly advanced than humans. My name is Lou Lamar. I'm an underwater director of photography for National Geographic and for Ocean X. I've seen giant deep-sea arachnids, venomous sea snakes far offshore with like bright yellow heads, deep ocean volcanoes, technicolored deep ocean chemosynthetic worms, sharks in a frenzy, orcas swarming all around me, some sort of, hyper-advanced aquatic alien creatures inhabiting the shallow waters, which almost look like stingrays. It's always the most beautiful place for me to be in, this three-dimensional void of space and quiet. Probably should be scared of, giant pissed off whales headed right my way with their jaws open, but for some reason my heart rate just stays low and I just stay calm and keep cruising.
Talk to your Creator. Establish a relationship with Him, for He is the sovereign Lord of your life. He is the author of life, and He is the ultimate cause of death. And when He sends His wrath on any nation, on any people, on any world, there is nothing that you can do to stop His power. His power is bound up in the forces of nature, and every creature that He has created, the treasure of that creature is with Him. He can make His creatures turn against you and become your enemy. the scientists have never seen before. This is a terrible day of reckoning. And if you want this to go away, Mr. President, come out in sackcloth and ashes. Go in your chamber and talk to your Creator and beg for His mercy and forgiveness. That's why the scripture says if you would humble yourself, because if you're arrogant and think that your power will avail you against your Creator, oh, you're making a mistake. God is forming in me a message for the entire earth, a message for all of the leaders, a message for the Pope of Rome, a message for the guardians, custodians of the two holy mosques, a message for the Jewish and Hebrew community, a message for every human being on this earth. I beg you to give me that chance to give you this message that God is putting in my heart to deliver to you before I return to Him. I beg you, Allah, bring Brother Asma back to us. Be with him and his family. All those who are sick, Muslims who have been touched with this virus, I beg you to repent. Go to Allah and beg for His forgiveness. He's quick to forgive, but you must humble yourself. All of you that think you have power, all of you that can push a button and send death from one end of the earth to another, yet you are being afflicted by something you can't see. That's how great God is. You take something so small as a virus and ruin your country, ruin your economy. Now the food supply is dwindling, and soon famine is on the way. Do you want to see babies that cannot eat, people that have no food? Is this what you want to see? Death widespread? I am a warner from God, and I'm pleading with you. Go into your chamber, close the door, and talk to your Creator. You don't need anybody around you. Just humble yourself and confess your fault. And as the people of Nineveh, the king of Nineveh, came out in sackcloth and ashes, I'm saying to our president, in the epicenter of this disease, humble yourself, Mr. President. Seek forgiveness. Turn from the wicked agenda, and God will stop this. And God will heal the land and heal the people on the land. I thank you for allowing me these few minutes to say a prayer. I bear witness that there's only one God. He is the sovereign Lord of every life that is on this earth. I beg you to humble yourself and make your connection to your Creator call on him in sincerity and watch this begin to wane. But if you are rebellious, if you think you can fight with God, then this will get worse and worse. For this pestilence is part of the beginning of sorrows. O Allah, I ask these things of you in the name of your servant, whom I represent, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Master Fard Muhammad, a great Mahdi, and the originator of the heavens and the earth. Please ask, pray, and he will hear you. In the name of Allah, thank you for listening.
Percent true, and the species in question is aquatic. I don't expect anyone to believe me, and that's fine. I know a lot of BS gets out. I'm just sharing a story from a few weeks ago that I feel is relevant due to all the disclosure talk. I have a college friend that landed a job working for NOAA in a pretty high capacity. I won't say more than that to protect their privacy. Around the holidays, me and said friend were catching up, and they shifted the topic to aliens. This friend is very level-headed, and we usually don't talk about stuff like that. It's mostly family talk, and work. They asked if I believed in aliens, to which I replied that, I'd like to, but we simply don't have enough evidence. Their expression perked up, and they said, I'm going to tell you something, and I want you to take me absolutely serious. Okay, where is this going, I thought. They never seemed so intense in a conversation before, so I braced for some kind of huge personal reveal or something. But they started talking about the Russian submarine incident that happened not too long ago, where supposedly a fire broke out on board a nuclear-powered Russian sub, and killed everyone on board. They said that was a cover story that Putin came up with for what really happened. The sub was apparently investigating an underwater base that is controlled by non-human entities. They got too close, and the sub was destroyed by these beings. My friend went on to detail how most world governments are aware of their presence, yet keep it undisclosed because of the ramifications to society it may have. Also, because we can't do anything to stop, or forcefully reveal them. They told me that NOAA has had thousands of incidents of contact with these underwater beings, and that it's fairly common knowledge amongst certain departments and roles in the organization. They said they have witnessed video, audio, and physical evidence of these beings residing under our oceans, but it is kept under tight wraps by senior officials, and whatever government sector controls NOAA. The friend said that the recent disclosure buzz is legit, and had been carefully planned. They said they don't know exactly what details will be provided to the public, but that in general, it will be made known that there are other beings occupying our planet, and that they are not from another planet, but have been here, long before us. They also said these beings actively keep us out of certain parts of the oceans. Apparently, their technology is advanced beyond anything we could come up with to withstand, negate the insurmountable pressures at extreme ocean depths. They are able to freely exit the water in their craft, without displacing or disturbing it physically. They've been captured innumerable times on sonar, traveling at speeds underwater that are impossible as far as human technology or marine biology is concerned. They also mentioned a place called Lake Vostok, and said a very large base was discovered there under the ice, and that Russians have control over the operation there. My friend also detailed that they have been witnessed outside of any craft, swimming in the ocean freely, by submersible, divers, and cameras at the bottom of oil rigs. They are humanoid, and resemble what most people would call the typical, gray alien. Oversized head, large dark eyes, no visible ears, small mouths. It's not known how they breathe and move underwater. That's pretty much most of what I was told. They didn't give a date, they just said it will definitely be this year according to what they have been hearing. Apparently this is going to be a worldwide disclosure, not a US-specific thing. Another story: I began my career with the Redacted office located in Redacted. I hold an MS in Biological Sciences from Redacted and a PhD in Wildlife and Fisheries Sciences from Redacted. In 2012, there was an incident of a few beached whales that were investigated by NOAA and a team from the Navy. This was very thoroughly hushed up immediately afterwards. The whales were full of perfectly circular incisions, where large chunks of their flesh has been removed, like cylinders of meat essentially. At first, we thought this had been done after the beaching, but we learned that they washed up that way. What really caught everyone's attention was the seared flesh around the circumference of the incisions, as if they were burned out with lasers. We were all baffled, as we'd never seen anything like this on marine life. Then, we got a call informing us that a small team would be conducting a hydrographic survey of the area, using the echo sounder of a local vessel. We typically use a technique called multibeam sonar to map the sea floor in astounding detail. The datum we collect is processed by various parties, and is usually uploaded to online databases. We were told that this would not be the case for this expedition. Long story short, we found irrefutable evidence of an advanced humanoid species living under our oceans. Using the multibeam sonar, we found their dwelling areas, and also what appeared to be underwater vehicles of some kind. The creatures themselves were tracked by the Navy over the course of 2 weeks, using a submersible equipped with special deep-sea observation equipment. The creatures displayed speeds of 70+ knots, faster than the sailfish, which is widely considered to be the fastest creature in the ocean. They also were recorded emitting sounds that resemble marine communications, and instruments also captured the emissions of precision sonar blasts that damaged the hull of the submersible, according to the Navy report. There is footage of the creatures, including juveniles. The Navy did not share the video with us, but an officer I spoke with gave the following description: "They didn't look real, they looked like computer animation. Their eyes were completely white, small and there was like turning. They have a glow around their entire body, and they move really fast, like even small movements. No visible hair, nor any features that implied male, female. No visible ears, and the mouths were wide, and lipless. We flashed sequences of lights at them, sounds, and even extended a robotic arm on the submersible, to try and get some kind of physical sample, DNA from the specimens, or the water nearest to them. We don't know how they were swimming, as they weren't wading, or moving their bodies the way a fish, or even a human would need to underwater. They were capable of just moving rapidly in any direction, without the need to change positions, or swim. In fact, during majority of the observations, they are just floating motionless, without gaining buoyancy. Now, there were also craft observed via sonar, some very large. They would move faster than anything should be capable of moving underwater. They were not seen, or recorded on video, just on sonar. They would at times disappear completely while being observed, as if they left the water, or cloaked themselves. We have 2 weeks' worth of data on just this one area. We were made aware that this is one of many spots around the world, where these creatures reside hidden from view. A briefing that I was able to read during a meeting indicated that Mariana's Trench is where the largest concentration of these creatures reside, and that they seem to be completely unaffected by the depths. Structures, believed to be their dwelling units, have been mapped. They are perfectly hexagonal, and joined together like a honeycomb. Their composition is unknown. The Navy confiscated most of the hard evidence. All we have are some sonar readings, that are only anomalous if you know what you are looking for. I want everyone to know this information. We are not alone, but they aren't from power space. In order to exist at these depths, and under astronomical pressures, these beings are either invincible, or they have evolved so far beyond us, that they have some kind of technology that negates both of those dangers. I don't know about this one team. Cool stories, fictional depiction out there. They do not have a fishtail, they are completely humanoid, but extremely thin, tall. Their bodies were covered in a material resembling elemental mercury, that looked like it was moving. They were very interested in the submersible, and seemed to know they were being observed, as a few times they would swim off, and come back with more creatures. We observed at max 5 of them at once. Varying sizes, but otherwise identical.